Now, moving on, earlier on during the week, we had Obinna and Cassypool have a little chat. You know, they sat down on Obinna's talk show and talked about a few things. The episode was even titled Difficult Questions, and difficult questions they did address. Now, Cassypool has really centered himself in the middle of championing for Tanzania, championing for other people. But today, specifically, we are talking about his views and the instances where he is championing for the current government of Tanzania. Now, while he was seated with Obinna, he did bring up the fact that he had actually mentioned this in a previous video where he wanted to paint Larry Madowo as a propaganda person, as somebody who's just there to muddy the waters, mix up things, stir up trouble, enforce propaganda by foreign nations because of the short feature on CNN that Larry Madowo did. Now, Larry Madowo took to his social media while the ongoing elections, while the general elections in Tanzania were happening. We saw what we saw. We saw the videos on the internet. We saw the women who were being shot in the streets. We are not blind, neither are we silly. So, because the government of Tanzania was very particular about no coverage of general elections and the aftermath of the protests that happened during the general elections. We even saw reporters who were arrested, not because they did any funny stories or instigated or stirred up trouble, but simply because they reported about what was going on. We saw them arrested. So Larry Madowo called out to the citizens of Tanzania after their internet was restored. Guys, walizimiwa Wi-Fi, walizimiwa internet. There was a complete internet shutdown in Tanzania. So after all of this is restored, Larry Madowo calls out and says, hey, I know journalists in your country cannot tell the story without risking arrest. So send me the videos, send me any evidence. I will do my due diligence and then I will cover what is going on in Tanzania. Because, hey, somebody needs to. You just cannot kill people. You cannot commit atrocities and expect the world not to know simply because umezima Wi-Fi kwenyu. And that is what the citizens of Tanzania did. However, Cassypool is saying this is a propaganda by the West. You're being paid. Why don't you report racism? Why don't you report the things happening in Palestine? Why are you only reporting negative stories about Tanzania? Now, Obinna did say that that is a lie. Larry Madowo was very factual. He was very impartial about all of this. He simply reported the events that happened in Tanzania. Now, as we move on from that, Cassypool said that clearly this was just another thing, trying to make us trying to gaslight us as if we did not see what we saw, as if people did not experience what they experienced. Even now in Tanzania, we have seen celebrities, we have seen artists, we have seen musicians come out again in support of Samia Suluhu, talking about Mama Forever. And I'm just like, why would you be such a betrayer to the people? Because if you have a platform, you do have the responsibility to just talk about the things that are happening. You simply can't wake up one morning, you're given a few bucks here and there, and decide that this is where you're standing. We've seen Wema Sepetu, girl, we see you, and that is not the correct decision. Now, Obinna did shut him down immediately, and he said, hey, Larry Madowo said actually that he objectively reports about Africa. Objectively, the good, the bad, the nasty, the tasty. That is what he does, objectively, impartially. So you cannot blame Larry Madowo for simply shining a light on the things that happened in Tanzania. Now, that's just politics. Sometimes I get riled up by these stories. But this is also a call to you who is watching us right now. Have you registered to vote? Okay, we saw the by-elections that happened in our own country just last week, and we saw how that played out. We saw the low voter turnout that was happening. So you who is watching us right now, have you registered to vote? Or are you going to wait for 2027? You're going to be disgruntled about the results or the people in power, and you're going to be an online keyboard warrior, giving us your frustrations and protesting online. We do not want that. If you want change, be the change that is needed. Register to vote. Our elections are just right about the corner. Saizi your politicians are overworking. Wako outside. I saw a politician over there eating nyama choma with the people. With the people, okay? In those 3 years he has been in office, never been seen. But suddenly, because elections are right around the corner, he's eating nyama choma with the people. Did you not see Rigiji walking around with Mira? So politicians are back campaigning on the roads, trying to do small works to cover, your eyes. But please, sit down, think about it, think about who has your best interests. Vote for people because of their policies, not because of their popularity. We did see what happened the last time, this was going on, and we did vote in Mr. Dimples because of the dimples. Where are we now? Where are we now? But I won't get too political about it.